Okay, we're testing a new stream channel, and it looks like already we got all three live, all three channels live. So while I check a couple of things, we're going to put some music up on the screen. A couple of things. We're gonna Okay, all right, it looks like, from what I can tell, the little test we're doing is working. Okay, and I've got a new version. I put in the HTML code that the new channel company gave to us, and it looks like that's working okay. And to do the test a little more thoroughly, I'm going to switch screens to our, we just lost it. What happened? Okay, it's back. That's what I wanted to see, though. Okay, if that's going to work and if it's going to hold. All right, I'm going to go over to our calendar page that I just modified. We'll get this lower third out of the way. This is a late Thursday night midweek test on the 21st day of January. This is strictly a test ahead of tomorrow night's Friday night Sabbath Eve Bible study live stream, just to make sure we can stream on the new channel without any problem and stream on all three channels at the same time. Okay, this is the page. Let me get that corner bug out of the way there. All right, this is the calendar page on our website. I just changed this. This will make for a good little test, live stream test. On this page, we've got the feast days for 2021. The first day of the sacred year for 2021 is March 14. On the Hebrew calendar, it's the year 5781 up until Tabernacles. And Passover this year is Friday evening for the Passover foot washing service right after sunset, when the Sabbath begins Friday night on March 26th. And then runs through midnight to become March 27 on the Roman calendar. So this year, Passover is on a Sabbath. Now, I've got a chart that I put on the calendar page that shows that as is happening this year, we have a Tuesday trumpets. And for those who are familiar with how the calendar works and how you first of all determine from the molad of Tishri, the molad of the 7th month, you determine trumpets, and you apply all the post-moment rules, and then you count backward. I'm trying to size that with my finger and thumb to get right size for the screen over here. Then you count backward to, I actually have that chart. Which way is it? See, this way. I have that chart here somewhere. All right, we're building a new stream channel for cogtv.org. There's our main page, which I just had you on before taking you over to the... oh, no, I didn't hang it. Okay, I didn't hang it up. Good. Okay, this I think we can frame a little easier. This is on our calendar page, but I got better framing with this photograph of it here. All right, this year in the second column, looking in the column across from where it says number 3, trumpets. Trumpets this year is on a Tuesday. And this is a cross-reference check. This is a stop check, a verification check chart that helps you understand if you got your dates down correct. When you have a Tuesday trumpets, Passover is going to occur on the Sabbath. Now, the way God's got the calendar configured with its postponement rules that he created, that men simply wrote down for us after Hillel II realized the Sanhedrin was about to become obsolete. And I say when he realized, and when he realized that, God had inspired him to realize that and to give us the calendar in writing, so we who become part of the spring harvest for this era can know when the holy days are. When you have a Tuesday trumpets, Passover will occur on the Sabbath. That only happens 11.5% of the time in a 19-year time cycle. On the other possible days of a Monday, Thursday, or Sabbath day trumpets, they'll only occur about approximately 30% of the time. There's an actual hard number, if you really do the math out carefully, out of every 19 years, it works out that trumpets occurs on a Monday about 28% of the time, and as I already mentioned, 11.5% of the time on Tuesdays. Trumpets will fall on a Thursday 32% of the time on average, and trumpets will occur on a Sabbath about 28.5% of the time in a 19-year time cycle. All right, that's for just those who really want to understand a few technical things that I had to study while I was putting this chart together, or I actually enjoyed studying while I put this chart together. So with a Tuesday trumpets, we have a Sabbath Passover. Now, when we have a Sabbath Passover, that makes things very interesting on the calendar, and especially the calendar for this year. Let's come back to the page I have for the for the calendar page on our website, and go up here to the dates for this year. I'm sorry if I sound tired, friends. I am. It's late Thursday night, and I'm just doing a test. Just for a few more minutes, I'm doing a test just to see how 3 live streams will hold up with the new codes that the new channel stream has given us. That the new codes, this puts the, I'm going to flip over there for just a moment to the home page, make sure we're still live, because that's part of what I'm doing with this test. See, I think this might take me to the home page. Did I go to the right button? No. I meant to go to the home page, so let's see. And come back. Oops. Let's see. Well, let's see. How from this page? How do I get back? Did that open up a new window? Okay. No, I don't want to put an add-on from eBay. Let's see. Well, all right. I can just take this page and type in cogtv.org. and go to our homepage this way. If I typed it correctly. Oops. Obviously I didn't type that too correct. I got some church organization. Let's see. Okay, let's try this. All right, this is the COG Television Ministry homepage, and our live stream is not on there. I have to click this button again now. I'm going to have to ask the people that are providing this service for us, that we'll be paying for. This is just, I'm running a test, why our stream is not staying on in the window we've got set up for the stream. I'm going to come up, make it a little bigger. Okay, all right, then I'm going to put that down for a second, because when we have there's a delay, and when I had typed up our URL address incorrectly, it put that other, there we go, all right, it's finally back. Okay, but it's, yeah, we're still on. Okay, all right, I'm going to go back to the calendar page, because for this test, I'm going to use the calendar just to, oh, you know what? I was typing it in the video picture. I need to hit the calendar button on the menu side of the actual web page. And, okay, I've got this blown up bigger than normal. Oh, you know what? That was inside the picture. Here's the, see, that's got the picture of the button. That's not going to work. I need the button over here. Ah, yeah, okay, I didn't mean to go contacts. I meant to go calendar. Okay, what's popping up on the screen? Set desktop background. All right, I'm going to get rid of that. All right, let me see if I can hit my finger on the right button there. Calendar. Okay, this is where I wanted to come back for the rest of this test. All right, this year, 2021, the year begins on March 14, actually the evening before at sunset on March 13. Passover this year will be on a Sabbath on the 26th day of March. That's not too far away. We're now at the 21st day of January, just a little bit over 2 months on the Roman calendar. And of course, let's see, today would be the 8th day of the 11th month, so to the 8th day of the 12th month, and then the 8th day of the 1st month, and then 6 more days. Yeah, it's two full months and almost a week until Passover on God's sacred calendar. And again, that'll be March 26th, 2021. That evening, the Passover service, immediately soon after sunset. Now, with Passover being on a Sabbath, the night to be much observed will be Saturday night after sunset. The first day of unleavened bread will begin, and that's the night to be much observed. And then, during the daytime, well, the first day of unleavened bread actually begins at sunset on the Sabbath. When it becomes Saturday night, it's technically no longer the Sabbath. It's technically Saturday night. Technically, it's the first day of the week after sunset on the Sabbath. And that'll be the time for the night to be much observed. That'll be the first day of unleavened bread. And then during the daytime, we'll have the annual Sabbath services on Sunday, March 28th. Now, with the Passover being on the Sabbath, that Sabbath becomes the triggering Sabbath. When Passover is on the Sabbath, that Passover Sabbath becomes the triggering Sabbath for the Wave Sheaf Day. The Wave Sheaf Day being the morrow after the Passover Sabbath. Or when in years when Passover is not on the Sabbath, it's the Sabbath that occurs during the week of unleavened bread. But when Passover is on the Sabbath, that Sabbath upon which Passover occurs becomes the trigger for the Wave Sheaf Day, which will be the following day, Sunday, March 28th. Now, if it were not done that way, then Wave Sheaf Day after the weekly Sabbath at the end of the week would put the Wave Sheaf Day outside of the days of unleavened bread, beyond it, and it doesn't work that way. The Wave Sheaf Day has to be during the days of unleavened bread. So when the Passover falls on the Sabbath, that Sabbath that the Passover occurs on becomes what we refer to here as the triggering Sabbath. It becomes the Sabbath, the weekly Sabbath, the morrow after which is the Wave Sheaf Day. Okay, so this year that'll be the same as the first day of unleavened bread, Sunday, March 28th. And that's the day that starts the count as day one of the 50-day count to Pentecost. Okay, then the last day of unleavened bread will be the third day of April. That'll be Sabbath number 1 of the Sabbaths you number as 7 Sabbaths. That'll be Sabbath 1. At the end of a week long of 7 days that began with a first day of the week, a Sunday, Wave Sheaf Day Sunday, through that first Sabbath is the first Sabbath, April 3rd. Then counting 7 Sabbaths, I'll put we can go ahead to a calendar here for 2021. Bring it a little fuller on the screen. And if we look under March and April, if I get them centered up on the screen. Okay. All right, there's March. We'll get it over a little more. And there's April. Okay, for this year. So you can see in the pink on Friday, there's the date for the Passover foot washing service this year, March 26th. By the way, if you'd like to have one of these calendars from our calendar page on cogtv.org, you can print out this area of the page on your color printer, and it's sized to be a business card size that'll fit in your pocket and that you can fold over and put on your desk. So you could print it and cut it and put it in your pocket, do another one that you cut double size and fold it over and use it as a desk card. Or check with me in a couple of weeks, and I may have printed this out on nice plastic-coated double-sized business card that I can mail you a copy. So if I get those printed, you'll be able to get a copy of from me, no charge, free of charge. But on this little card, the pink, March 26th, that's the night of the Passover foot washing ceremony. By the way, these dates are checked with the Arthur Spears calculations for the Hebrew calendar. They're also run through the computer program that the IT department of the church created before Mr. Armstrong died. And I was able to get a copy of that computer program as well. Okay, then Sabbath, March 27, as we were saying, the daytime portion is Passover. Of course, it's a regular Sabbath day, so normally where Passover is not a holy day, it's just a feast day, but it's the most solemn feast day of the entire year. This year, Passover is falling on a regular weekly Sabbath. And then that night, after sunset, that evening, Saturday night, March 27, is the night to be much observed. And this is going to be an interesting year for that. Those are oftentimes small settings in a person's home anyway, so that really should not be a problem. We obey God rather than man if it comes down to an issue such as that. Otherwise, we obey man as much as possible when it doesn't conflict with what God tells us to do. Sometimes your faith will be tested with that, though, because sometimes men cause people to suffer wrongly by keeping God's commands. I was threatened with the Marine brig in the Coast Guard. When I told them I couldn't work on a Friday night, they tried to schedule me to work. I said, well, you don't show up, Gilbert, you'll be in the Marine brig. I said, well, you might as well go ahead and send me over there now, sir, because there's no question I will not be on that duty tonight. Let it be on your head, not mine, when nobody shows up for it. Because I'm telling you now, sir, with all due respect to you, I will not be there. There is not even a single question or moment of question about it at all. I will not be there. If you're going to send me to the Marine brig, I put my hands out and crossed them, said, put the cuffs on me now, sir, because I'm telling you there's no question I will not be on duty tonight. Well, I'm a good Catholic and I work on Sunday. Well, sir, I work on Sunday too, but I won't work on God's Sabbath. Oh boy, did that one ever make the guy angry. He stormed up to see the commanding officer. I've told this a number of times during services. Interestingly, God inspired the commanding officer to go to bat for me. They let me. He made sure they didn't work me or schedule me even for the Sabbath, and he turned around my denied feast request that year, 1969. Okay, let's go through the rest of this year. I want to make this a short test. It's late. You can probably hear the tiredness in my voice, but I do want to do a reasonable test. Okay, the 28th, that's the Wave Sheaf Day. It's also the first day of unleavened bread. That's unusual that it comes out that way. Only 11.5% of the time is it going to come out this way. And then going over to April, the first column in April, the third day of April, the third day of April 3rd, 2021, is the last day of unleavened bread. That's why it's in purple. The holy days are in purple on this calendar. Now, the green on this calendar means those are part of the 50 days, plus the count of the holy days, that began with the Wave Sheaf Day on March 28th. It begins on March 28th this year, and that's day number 1. By the end of the week, April 3rd, last day of unleavened bread on that first week, that's your first Sabbath. That's 7 days into the 50. April 10 is 10 days into it. April 17, how interesting that is. Let's see, wait a minute. No, that's 14, I'm sorry. April 10 would be 14 days into the 7-day count, your second Sabbath. April 17 would be 3 Sabbaths into it, day 21. April 24 would be the fourth Sabbath of 7, the end of the fourth week. That'd be 28 days. Then, we got to go on over to May to get to Pentecost. So the fifth Sabbath would be occurring on May 1st, May Day, May 1st on the Roman calendar. So that's day number 35. 5 times 7 is 35. I'm trying to make that a little bigger, if it'll let me stretch out the screen here. All right, that's as big as it's going to let me go, I guess. Then April 8 is your 6th of your 7 Sabbaths. 6 times 7, that's day 42. April 15 is your 7th Sabbath. 7 times 7, that's day number 49. And then the scripture, Leviticus 23, verse 16, tells us, and the morrow after that 7th Sabbath shall you number 50. And part of your Penta 50 cost count, there's your Pentecost, your count 50, April 16. I'm sorry, May. We're in the month of May. May 16, this year, 2021, is Pentecost. And you see the green has quit because the green is just there for counting the 50 days. All right, so that's how that calendar works. And then next holy day doesn't come up again until the fall. The 7th month on God's sacred calendar, all of that falling in September this year. There's your 4 holy days, all purple, in the month of September. The first date, September 7, would be your Feast of Trumpets. You see it's clearly showing on a Tuesday there. And Atonement, with the red lettering, is kind of like to be with that shocking color, number 16, is to help people remember, a Day of Atonement, that's our fast day. We're not going to eat that day. Then the third holy day of the 7th month, occurring on September 21st this year, is the first day of unleavened bread. It goes for, already did first day of unleavened bread, and we did unleavened bread in the fall. Now in the spring, I meant in April, March and April. But here in September in the fall, we're doing the Feast of Tabernacles. So the first day of the Feast of Tabernacles is September 21. And then the weekly Sabbath is on the 25th that year. There's nothing that triggers on that Sabbath. It's just the weekly Sabbath during the days of the Feast of Tabernacles. And then the last great day of the feast will be September 28 this year. Oh, and I forgot to do something. I got to go back into that calendar and color the 26th and 27th blue, because I've got the feast days, the regular feast days of Feast of Tabernacles, colored in a light blue on this calendar, but I see I missed the 26th and 27th, and 27th being the last day of the Feast of Tabernacles itself. But it's considered as if it were an 8-day feast, even though it's a separate feast day, separate holy day. September 28th this year will be the last great day of the feast. And so there's our holy days number 4, 5, 6, and 7, all occurring during the fall season. And then those are summarized at the beginning of the calendar page, toward the top. Here's the top of the page, up here where it's got Church of God Television. All right, yeah, that's the top of the page. And if you hover over it with your mouse button, it changes to big letters. What happened here? Oh, I accidentally hit Alt-Tab and switch the page. What happened to the page? Okay, I have it here somewhere. Did I knock that page out somehow? Okay, it looks like I've knocked it out. And, Okay. Alright, so what I'll do, I'll just type it back in again. COGTV.org. I'll be very careful this time not to... Oops, I actually did mistype it. It's COG, not CIG. COGTV.org. Okay, we got it. I'm going to click the button. Alright, and there we are. Make it a little smaller. Okay, we've gone off again. I've got to tell the hosting people we're losing the signal. It shows up on our home page. So if you, for some reason, were to watch from our home page, if it goes out on you, just hit the button that you saw me hit there in the center. It's got the little arrow button in it. Yeah, if that triangle in the center comes up, just push it, and it'll bring the live signal back. This is a backup, by the way, so that if we lose our other channels, or if for some reason you don't want to watch on Facebook or YouTube, you can come over to our homepage, our website, cogtv.org, and watch our live streams from there now. And it's about 10 seconds delayed, but it's our live stream. Now I'm going to go back to the calendar page and just finish going through the calendar, and then I'm going to conclude this test for tonight. All right, here's the summary of what we were going through on an actual calendar with the holy days highlighted with a purple background, and the feast days, the days you count to Pentecost, highlighted with a green background. And so here, our Feast of Unleavened Bread is March 28th through April 3rd. Pentecost, after we've counted 50 to the morrow after the 7th Sabbath, occurs on May 16 this year. Let me just check and see if that's corresponding to what we have on the actual calendar. May 15, May is right here. Yeah, May 16. There it is. It's Sunday, May 16, just like we have in the summary at the beginning. All right, Pentecost is May 16. I've got it highlighted in green because we had to count it. And I just used green as the counting color for the 50 days. Feast of Trumpets is Tuesday, September 7. And Atonement's on Thursday, September 16. Now, the two holy days during the 8-day festival of Feast of Tabernacles and Last Great Day, they're going to be on the same day as trumpets, the same day of the week, not the same day, but the same day of the week. It's going to be on a Tuesday. September 21st will be the first day of the Feast of Tabernacles, beginning the evening before. it's the 15th day of the 7th month on God's sacred calendar, starting at sunset. But because the Roman calendar divides days at midnight, we got the opening night of the feast will actually be the evening before on the Roman calendar. It'll be Monday night, September 20, which after sunset is the 15th day of the 7th month. It stays the 15th day of the 7th month on Tuesday, September 21st until sunset. So be thinking of the evening before. Most of you know this. Monday night, September 20, is when the feast will actually start with the opening night service. Then the last great day will also be on a Tuesday, just like trumpets, September 28. And of course, it begins the evening before at sunset on the 22nd day of the 7th month on God's holy sacred calendar. On man's Roman calendar, that's going to be Monday night, September 27. Okay, and then those who want the Molad of Tishri for this year, that's on here. 23 hours, 497 parts on the first day of the first month, Tishri. And so that's all here, right on our calendar page. Plus, as the note here says, scroll down below for years through 2034. If you want to know what days the feast are on, all the way up through 2034, we've got those here for you. We've got 4 years of calendars like this printed. We planned ahead. We got those planned ahead for you. This is 2022, you see here, with the feast days highlighted in color. And here's 2023. It's got the holy days and the feast days highlighted in different colors, and the count to Pentecost in green. And beginning with the Wave Sheaf Day that year with a dark green for Wave Sheaf Day, which is not a holy day that year. And the Wave Sheaf is a regular day. It's not even a feast day. It's not a holy day either. It's tomorrow. Normally, it's tomorrow after the weekly Sabbath during the days of unleavened bread. But this year, because Passover is on a Sabbath, that is the weekly Sabbath that triggers Wave Sheaf Day. And since the day after Passover is the first day of unleavened bread, a holy day, and it's the triggering day, the morrow after the Sabbath, that is also the Wave Sheaf Day. This year, the Wave Sheaf Day is on a holy day. The Wave Sheaf offering ceremony is not a holy day celebration itself, but it falls on a holy day this year. It falls on the first day of unleavened bread, which it doesn't always do. All right, we got the calendar for 2024 with a pocket calendar you can print out for yourself. If anything happens to me, and this web page stays up, or printed out ahead of time, you got your pocket calendars for the next 3 years. All right, but God willing, I'm asking Him to keep me protected and to count me worthy to escape. We got a different kind of calendar. I sometimes do a side-by-side calendar, so we put the Hebrew calendar on the left side and the Roman calendar on the right side, so it just helps you see where we are in time. I've got to do that for this year yet, so that's a project I'll do sometime in the future. But we do have, if you scroll on down, you can see from this section on the calendar page, all on one page, on cogtv.org. You can just go all the way through, well, there's last year, here's this year. You can just keep going all the way through 2034. And it's got the holy days summarized. So you can see, in 2022, trumpets is on a Monday, so Feast of Tabernacles and Last Great Day are going to occur on a Monday. And that makes it, when you count back 23 weeks and 3 days, that means Passover starts on a Friday that year. Foot washing service will be on Thursday night, as you can see explained on the top. And so everything verifies. The days verify, just helping make a stop check. 2023 is here, 2024, just keep going, 2025, 2026. Molad of Tishri is included for each year also, in case you want to do any double checking. Here's 2027. Trumpets will be a Sabbath that year. 2028, trumpets will be on a Thursday. 2029 will be like this year, trumpets on a Monday. Oh no, this year trumpets is on a Tuesday, I'm sorry. All right, 2030, trumpets will be on a Sabbath. 2031, trumpets will be on a Thursday. 2032, you got the dates for it here, with trumpets on a Monday. See, the trumpets on a Tuesday only comes up 11.5% of the time. So you're not going to see it very often where trumpets is coming up on Tuesday, because God just designed that to not happen too often. That puts the Passover on Sabbath, makes things kind of different. And here's the last one we have figured until 2034. And if for some reason somebody thinks we need to go beyond that, I would be willing to do it. Then we pick up dates from the past. If you want to see some past years, I got those stuck down to the bottom. But let's see. Since the annihilation generation began in 1952 with the successful testing of the hydrogen bomb, that's when Mr. Armstrong puts the date for the beginning of the annihilation generation. The generation that Jesus Christ said in Scripture. I should probably bring up that Scripture for the Bible study tomorrow night. It's the generation Jesus Christ said would not pass away until all these things be fulfilled, and all these things included being able to blow up the entire world. Once would be enough, but we can do it multiple hundreds of times with all the stockpile of weapons that exist today. All right, and in today's news, there was a joke about a red button in the White House. I'm not going to tell that tonight. Maybe I'll tell it tomorrow. I don't know. But this is definitely a time to be praying that the fifth seal does not open during the winter, as Christ instructed us to do in Matthew 24, verse 20. By the way, I just noticed I have my mic volume low, but for this test, maybe that's just fine. Usually I crank it up around here. I've got compressors. I don't know if that'll make a difference or not, but I'll check that. That'll be interesting to hear. All right, I'm going back to the home page. Here's our home page button. And just check and see if we've got the live stream. Now, if it does this while you were watching a live stream, if it goes black on you and it puts the little circle with the play button in the middle, that's to even play the live stream. I just pressed it, and yeah, okay, we're still live streaming. All right, I'm going to be finding out from the hosting service tomorrow why it kept cutting off. Okay, because if some of you choose to watch from cogtv.org instead of watching from Facebook Live or YouTube Live, you know, I don't want that cutting off on you all the time like that. So we'll try to get that fixed or worked out with the streaming company. I'm going to tell them that if they can't fix that, that will make me want to look for another service instead of their service. Okay, those of you who just kind of watched in here with me while I did this test tonight, thank you. If you have some comments on how the live stream test went wherever you are watching from, I'll actually appreciate that. If it went well where you are and didn't cut off on you, I'd like to know. Or, well, actually, what I'd really like to know if you had a problem. Because if you didn't have a problem, I'm going to assume everything was okay. So, all right, I'm just going to check, and it looks like we have 3 people watching my little test live here. Okay, well, if I'm on the right one, let's see. Yeah, that's the live button. Okay, all right, so, all right, I'll check the comments after I shut this off here. And tomorrow night, I will be announcing prayer requests for those who need it. I hope all who requested a anointed cloth received it okay. And, all right, I'm going to end our little test right here. So until tomorrow night for the Bible study, yeah, in fact, that's a good idea. Let me Let me switch over to the screen, and I'll see if I can put that up. Just an announcement that we were doing a test. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and close out with some music. So let me see where we are. I'm looking at everything but what I need to be looking at. Okay, we're just going to close it out with our usual music while I just do some last-moment checking. And all right, I'm going to end our little test right here. So, okay, except I went in while I've got two players going. I got the live stream player. I need to turn off the audio on that, or it's going to double play audio. Let's see, where's that button? Okay, thanks for bearing with me on this, those of you who are here while I'm doing this live. And I'm having a problem getting that. Oh, should use my finger. Okay, there's where that is, and there should be a speaker button. I can tap. Yeah, there we go. Now I can go back over to our player and close out with our usual closing out music. There we go. Thank you to those of you who were here while I tested. If you saw a problem, I'd sure appreciate it if you'll post a comment and let me know.